Building a successful home service business is much about what's inside your head as it is about what's on paper. That is all the marketing and advertising that you put into it. That's why in this video, we're going to talk about the mindset shifts that will take you from dreaming about your home service business and actually doing something about it. Let's party. So if you've ever felt like you've had all the skills that you need to start your home service business, but there's just something holding you back in getting it started. I know there's a lot of people out right now that are in that sort of mindset, that they have all of the tools, they have all of the knowledge, they know how to be able to do the work and get the work done, yet there's something blocking them, an obstacle of sorts that's just not helping them get past the point to where they can take all of this great knowledge, all of these great skills that they have with their hands, and actually making something or doing something about it. And I personally know what that feels like because when I started my home service business, SOS Garage Door Service, I felt that I had acquired all the skills, all the tools, all the know-how to be able to take care of a customer, a homeowner's garage door, and yet there was some obstacle. There was this big wall, this big thing in front of me that I was not able to get past through. And I realized that it wasn't necessarily a physical thing, it was more a mental thing. It was actually my mindset. And when I talk about mindset, I'm referencing that inner game, that inner struggle that we all have, that perhaps maybe we have imposter syndrome, uncertainty, insecurities, that even though, again, we've acquired so many skills, we've done so many things, perhaps with our hands, the abilities that we have to create like art or music or whatever the case is. And of course, you can transfer that into what is the home service trades, the trades that exist today. And yet still, there is just something blocking us from getting to that next step, to taking our home service business and making it a reality. And if you ask any entrepreneur, anyone that started their own home service business, you will come to find that everyone goes through this roller coaster of emotions, these feelings that we have, these insecurities when it comes to our craft, the trades that we have acquired, the abilities that we have to be able to utilize them in a way that not only it benefits our fellow man and the community, but clearly is also going to put food onto our table. So when we're thinking about that mindset, when we're thinking about those inner struggles, we really have to come to terms with it. But how? Because let's be honest, that's why you're watching this video. You're watching this video because you probably have an inner struggle right now when it comes to your home service business. And you're just trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I need to do to get to the next step? I mean, I have everything in place. I have all of the equipment that I need. I've rented some office space. I've got all of my advertising, all my ducks in a row. Why is it not happening? Why is it there's no energy, there's no enthusiasm? And as you start to go down that list, there's this unsurmountable, I would say, stress that you start to feel, and you start to just have like this doubt within you, and you think like, did I make a mistake? Have I made a mistake opening this home service business? Clearly I'm in over my head. I don't know what I'm doing. There's no way I'm going to succeed. I might as well close shop now and just give up on my dreams and not even try and do this because I'm doomed. I'm doomed before I start. And just listening to me say that right now, I remember that conversation. I remember thinking there was a point in basically in my career where I thought, Santiago, you had a pretty good run. There's no way that you're going to be able to be like the Precision Garage Doors or like these other companies. Just go ahead and give up now because, hey, it was fun while it lasted, but listen, you're not really cut out for this. And that conversation, it kept me up at night, which to a certain degree, I think, no, there's no way that I'm going to let anyone stop me from doing what I need to do to be able to provide for my family, to be able to provide and make something, or I should say do something worthwhile when it comes to a career or a type of work that you want to implement or have in your life. And so I think about if there was anyone trying to tell me that to my face, I would be very stern. I would be very clear. And I would say, you know what? You don't know me. You don't know my struggle. You don't know my story. You don't know how hungry and determined I am to be able to go out there and make it happen. I would tell that to someone who came at me with that type of talk, with that type of mindset, and tried to discourage me from being able to start my home service business. And now reframing that and flipping that and finding out that that person is actually myself. Well, wow, that's a little eye-opening. It almost helps us to understand that we are our own worst enemy. And when it comes to those doubts, when it comes to those situations, and when you yourself are telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not going to be able to make it happen, that there's no way your home service business is going to be successful, you really want to have that struggle. And you want to have that conversation with yourself, because at the end of that conversation, you want to come to the conclusion that you really are meant to do this work. So that scenario that we've just described is part of the mindset trap, where basically you limit your own beliefs. You are limiting your own beliefs, and you want to unmask, you want to unlock yourself, unchain yourself from your own limiting beliefs. You want to be able to do that in a way that clearly you have to come to terms that, yes, you are starting something that perhaps may not succeed. But like any business, no business is guaranteed to succeed. The only way you're going to know if you're successful in your home service business is if you actually do something about it. So being able to get through those limiting beliefs is very important. You want to definitely dive into those fears. Now, what are those psychological fears that most entrepreneurs have? Well, they're basically those beliefs that oneself could probably think or say, I don't have a degree, or I don't have the right background, or maybe I don't necessarily have all the connections, or maybe the right pedigree. Maybe I'm not necessarily made from the same mold. You know, all of those inner thoughts, all of those limiting beliefs, they're just fears. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, because there have been so many examples of people who have started a home service business. I'm one of them. I come from a background where, quite frankly, I didn't necessarily know how to do anything with my hands. My skills, all of that I had been able to acquire after high school and through my career, I guess you could say, was basically through sales. I knew how to talk to people, and that was something that benefited me with my home service business, but that was a skill that I was able to acquire. You can always go to schooling and acquire certifications and degrees. You can always talk to people to make those networking connections and be able to know who's within your community that can help you with your home service business. And with regards to like your pedigree, or that is, with your background, your culture, your race, that doesn't matter. And I'll tell you, not that it doesn't matter to you, but what I'm trying to say is that should be actually a driving force that will help you to be able to get your home service business started. So the fears that we've kind of identified here are enabling us to just be able to say, you know what, these cons that I keep bringing up, they're actually pros. If we shift our mindset, they're actually pros for me, for you, to be able to start your home service business and to be able to get this game up and running. Because again, your mindset is really what's the obstacle here. Being able to change that, being able to tell yourself, you know what, you got this. You're going to be able to make this happen. All you got to do is hone in on the skills that you've acquired and acquire the ones that you haven't yet, so that you can get past those fears and you can bust through those limiting beliefs. Now, if that has excited you, then we're at a good start right now, because you want to be able to use now the fuel from those limiting beliefs to ignite your drive to get you to take action. And that's the real key here when it comes to starting our home service business. With regards to our home service business, it's really about taking action, not just necessarily doing the work to be able to make a customer happy, but it's also being able to take the action to acquire the work, to be able to get your brand out, to be able to get your name out, so that way you can find customers, you can get the work. Again, all of that action will help you to get through those limiting beliefs, so that way you can stir up that fire and that drive in you. Every single day, I have to muster up that drive. It's not like we have it, it's fueled up on Monday and we're depleted on Friday. No, every day we need to muster up that drive, because that drive is what's going to help us to succeed. It's going to help us to get past those fears and to help us change our mindset. Now, one of the systems, or I should say the frameworks that I like to use is basically by failing fast. Failing fast, or failing fast forward. What do I mean by this? Well, when it comes to being able to take action, sometimes you might think like, well, what's the right way to go? Or what's the right way to go about promoting or working in my home service business? And the truth is that with the limiting beliefs and some of the insecurities that you have with your mindset, you could think like, well, if I do this, if I do that, I don't know what's going to happen. You go through kind of like this rabbit hole of scenarios that you just don't have any feedback or any metrics from. So the point that I'm trying to highlight here is the action that you take will help you to know where you're going. You're moving forward. Now, the action might make a fail, and you want to do that. You actually want to fail fast so that way you can get to the right action, to the right process, to the right way that you're going to be able to do the work or acquire the customers that you need. So perhaps maybe that could be like, for example, like making phone calls. You know that if you're going to be cold calling or outreaching to someone within your community to get your word out, if you only make 5 calls, well, that's not enough to be able to give you the metrics necessary for you to find out, okay, what works with getting a customer. Now, if you make about 100 calls, well, yeah, that's going to be, I would say, a good goal to be able to fail fast forward to get those metrics back and to help you see, okay, this works. My style of communication works. What I said right here when they had this objection, what I was able to do to convince them to book a call or should they book an appointment or even make the sale, or what I would like to say is, be able to guide the customer to see how we can help them, because that's really what you want to do. I think most people appreciate the fact that if you serve first, and if you look to provide a service, and if you're looking to help someone, the customer will relay that to you. But the only way you're going to be able to find those type of customers and to find that doable or that action approach, you're going to have to fail fast. So by that action, you're going to be knocking out every day. You're going to be making phone calls, making connections, social media posts. You're going to be reaching out to as many people as possible. So again, you can get that mindset out. Someone will say, you're not going to be able to get through that many calls in the day. It's possible. I mean, you've got a lot going on. So if you put the number out there 100 and yet you make 80 calls or even 50 calls, hey, that's great. What about those 50 calls that perhaps maybe you closed or you booked appointments, 25, half of them? Come on, let's be honest. 25 booked appointments, that's great. But again, you won't be able to get through that system or through that doable action if you're not failing fast forward. So that's the idea. You want to take that strategy when it comes to that inner drive, when you think about that situation where you're feeling like, I'm just not into it. Make the action, do the action, make the calls, make the connection. This will help you when it comes to your mental mindset for your home service business. Now, something that might be able to help you get through some of these mental challenges is through a mentorship or finding community. And that's one thing that we do here on my channel and even in SOS Garage Door Service, my other YouTube channel. Basically, I'm here to help you as a coach. We have our own brand leads coaching program that we're able to help home service technicians, home service professionals get into their own home service business. So if you're curious about that, we do have a link in the description that can help you do that. But in essence, when you find mentorship, when you find community, you'll be able to see that those mental challenges that you get, that mindset that you somehow have to, just drive through, you'll have to, barricade through, you'll find that it's more attainable. You'll find that it is more doable when you're within a community and you have like-minded entrepreneurs, like-minded business owners just rooting for you. They're saying, hey, you can do this. Come on. You got to make this happen. Let's make those calls. It's almost like when you're thinking about like a workout, fitness workout coach. You have a trainer, someone who's going to be there with you. They're going to be coaching you. They're going to be basically telling you, hey, let's take that last rep. Hey, let's do that last run. Hey, let's do this last set. They're going to be the ones pushing you to get through that. And so when thinking about mindset is, again, that inner battle, that inner struggle. It's one thing to have someone tell you, you know what, you're not good enough. But man, it's a completely different thing when you have someone say, you know what, bro, you are good enough. I've seen you. You're a beast. You're this. You're gonna crush it. You're gonna make this happen. I'm here for you. I'm right behind you. I'm doing my thing right beside you. I've got my home service business alongside with you. And that's actually great. To be in a mentorship cohort community like that means a lot. So if you're wanting to get involved in that way, find anyone. I'm not necessarily saying ours, or I should say mine, is the way to go. But if you have a community, stick with it. Reach out to the guys. Find someone there that you can, they can be a mentor to you, and you can be a mentor to them. And mentorship is a two-way street, because we need that encouragement in order to get through this very hard game that we are in the home service business trade. So now we've talked about these 2 points, the limiting beliefs, and of course, the strategies that can help us drive to get past those beliefs, and the framework of failing fast forward, doing those actionable tasks, that the work behind being able to get your mindset right. Now, I do want to kind of shift a little bit into what would make you more resilient under those circumstances and situations. And it's under the idea of some coping mechanisms and even some stress management techniques. And so when you're thinking about your mindset, you have to take into account that your mindset is obviously connected to your mental health. So a lot of times we might divert to something that we could think like, oh, this helps me with my stress. This helps me with, with my coping situation, with all the mental things that I'm going through. And we might make a poor decision of going perhaps maybe with a vice. And we could think about a number of things. But we'll come to find that those things don't actually help us, they hinder us. So what I would like to express in this part of the video is just something very truthful. And because I've been there. I've done that. I've coped with other things that I know were just not good for me. And coming to that realization, I think I needed to hear from someone say, hey, you know what, bro, you're doing great. Maybe that's not the best thing for you. I'll tell you what, again, with that support system, you could easily say like, hey, let's go take a walk, or let's go work out. Or let's create something. Let's do something. In fact, let's go have a conversation. Let's go have a cup of coffee or whatever beverage, in moderation that can help you get through those emotions. You need to pause and reset. That's one of the best coping mechanisms, stress management systems that I would definitely recommend. Just simply pausing, reset. You want to be able to step back a bit and be able to get the full picture. And you'll find that you've actually accomplished a lot when you do that. So again, with coping mechanisms, with stress management, do some of the things that it's going to help you to be able to reset in that fashion, in that way. I love I'll admit it, I love spas, I love massages, all those things help, foot baths and stuff like that, baths, that stuff. It may seem, I don't know, say whatever you want. I don't care. I think they're great. And they help me manage my stress. And to be able to just simply reset my mind and think about, okay, you know what? I was able to accomplish at least one thing, or these 3 things, or these 5 things, and they help me within my home service business trade. So being able to pause, reset, step back, look, you'll come to find that those metrics, whatever you see, whatever you reflect on, is going to help you to get back in the game. It's a process. It's not just going to happen once. Your mindset will need to be worked on a daily basis. You'll need to focus on these things, not just for yourself, but for your team, for your family, for your community. It is a challenge. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy. It's not easy being able to do this day in and day out. But when you do it, when you do focus on what is your mental mindset, when you put in the work, when you fail fast forward and you're able to kind of take that information, step back, and you see the whole big picture, you come to find that you've accomplished a lot. And know, yes, have it in your mind that those little challenges and those wins and those victories, they're for your benefit. We hope that you continue to have more wins. Our goal is to help you have more wins. And we definitely want to be able to be by your side. Mentorship, give you community, give you support, give you hope. That's what we're here for.